been an atheist society that's like thrived? It's like point it to me. If you wanted to go in society, you'd have to be like super religious.
All right.
But he's dumb.
But I think
Let's
he's
see
just an
how he,
honest guy.
takes this little argument. Could I
Neil, stop the trolling, okay?
Could I maybe ask a question as someone who is kind of interested in maybe becoming a Christian for you, Darth, who is interested in how so I want to grant your presupposition argument that there is a necessary entity in order for us to have reason, in order for us to make truth claims, etc. But how do you go from just the mere fact that there needs to be a necessary entity to the Christian God specifically?
Because God has revealed himself in all of creation through all facts collectively, which we call natural revelation. And he's revealed himself to various individuals throughout the course of human history. And he's preserved that providentially and in his sovereignty so that we have access to that. Now, that content that we call the special revelation are the Christian scriptures. The information contained therein are self-attesting, self-authenticating, and they explain to us that this is the only worldview that has the necessary preconditions or prerequisites for human intelligibility. Deny that, okay? If you simply don't accept that, that'll be a de facto denial, and you'll have to defend your non-Christian worldview.
So again,
only one worldview, only one worldview can be true. Only one worldview can actually possess the necessary preconditions.
I'm willing to agree
intelligibility.
with that. So
okay, good. And the Christian worldview possesses it.
Right. I'm willing to agree that there's the necessity of some type of being that allows for this. But if you talk to a Muslim, if you talk to a person who's Jewish,
did you even hear anything I just said?
The exact same thing as you.
They don't have the
exact same thing as you.
Okay, stop. That you're not listening.
Okay.
They first of all, they do not have the necessary preconditions of intelligibility. Okay. First of all, in order for there to be intelligibility, you have to have a God that has all great making properties. The contemporary Jewish conception of God does not have that. The Islamic conception of God or the Quranic conception of God does not have that. Okay?
Why not?
I just told you they're missing the properties and attributes that only the Christian God possesses.
What are those properties and attributes?
That he's triune, that he's multi-personal, he is the one and the many, and this is reflected in creation, right? Because if God was just simply a singular person and he was simply the one, then how would we see that reflected in creation? Okay, God wouldn't be one and the many or possess unity and diversity.
Could you
First of all, secondly,
spell that out for me?
The Islamic God is not omniscient. Excuse me. He's not omniscient. There's no plan of salvation. He doesn't have all great making properties. So we can rule that out. The Jewish God now is Unitarian in nature, which means God cannot have all great making properties. He cannot be maximally personal in eternity past because there's no one for him to relate to as a person. Okay. Also, there's no plan of salvation in contemporary Judaism.
But like,
how does contemporary Judaism, listen carefully, how does contemporary Judaism resolve the antithesis between justice and mercy? The cross of Jesus Christ, his death, burial, and resurrection solves this dilemma.
But if we read the Quran, it does say that Allah is omniscient.
That's what it claims. But if you turn to Surah 4 and 5, it condemns the Christian doctrine of the Trinity, and it accuses the Christians of taking Allah, Jesus, and Mary as gods.
Okay, but what I'm trying to get at, and maybe you can illuminate this for me.
Okay, hold on a second.
Yes.
Do you dispute any of my responses to you?
Yes, I dispute your ability to know that your God's revelation is true.
No. You see, you're not listening. Now it's become clear to me
it's
what
an
the
epistemic
problem
question.
is. Okay, you are not focusing and you are not listening what I'm saying to you. I asked you, do you dispute anything that I have said to you prior? Then you responded by disputing something else that I did say.
I agree
Okay.
with you
Okay.
that you believe.
Okay, goodbye. Goodbye.
Okay.
We're done with
I
you.
think you don't want to answer questions.